It was not long ago that Japan's incumbent Prime Minister publicly declared that an emergency in the Taiwan Strait would constitute a situation threatening Japan's survival, which would then allow Japan to exercise its right to collective self-defense abroad. This marks the very first occasion in 80 years that such statements have been openly made, directly posing a challenge to China's sovereignty, directly challenging the post-World War II order that returned Taiwan to China, and directly reneging on every single commitment he had previously made to China. Of course, we cannot agree. 1.4 billion Chinese people cannot accept this.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi slammed Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi over her remarks on Taiwan last year. While speaking at the Munich Security Conference in the German city, Wang warned Tokyo that such a move directly challenged China's national sovereignty.
It was not long ago that Japan's incumbent Prime Minister publicly declared that an emergency in the Taiwan Strait would constitute a situation threatening Japan's survival, which would then allow Japan to exercise its right to collective self-defense abroad. This marks the very first occasion in 80 years that such statements have been openly made, directly posing a challenge to China's sovereignty, directly challenging the post-World War II order that returned Taiwan to China, and directly reneging on every single commitment he had previously made to China. Of course, we cannot agree. 1.4 billion Chinese people cannot accept this. The lessons of the past are not far off, and we must be vigilant. Back then, Japan used this very same excuse, a so-called crisis for survival, to invade China and attack Pearl Harbor. If there's no repentance, past mistakes are bound to be repeated. This is a law of history. Good people truly need to be vigilant now. First, the Japanese people should no longer be swayed or misled by those far-right forces who even wish to revive militarism. All peace-loving nations should issue a stern warning to Japan. If it chooses to revert to its old ways, it will only bring about its own destruction. Should it dare to gamble once more, it will only fail faster and suffer a far more tragic defeat.
Last year, China fumed after Takaichi said that a Chinese attack on Taiwan could constitute a survival-threatening situation for Japan, requiring the use of force. Takaichi, Japan's first woman prime minister, had said that the Chinese use of force around Taiwan could qualify as an existential threat, evoking sharp criticisms from Beijing. China considers Taiwan part of its territory and has not renounced the use of force to bring the self-governing island under its control. Last December, the Chinese forces conducted military drills around Taiwan. Footage showed long-range rocket launchers firing missiles at simulated maritime targets, while several warships were deployed at sea to test operational capabilities.
The war of words across the Taiwan Strait has just intensified. Beijing is now openly calling Taiwan's president Lai Ching-te a war instigator. The accusation comes after Lai issued a stark warning, one that echoes far beyond Taipei. In an interview with AFP, his first with a global news agency since taking office in May 2024, Lai cautioned the world, if China seizes Taiwan, it will not stop there. According to Lai, Beijing would grow more aggressive. Its ambitions, he warned, would extend next to Japan, the Philippines, and deeper into the Indo-Pacific.
This preparation means that at any given moment, we must possess the capability to effectively deter Chinese aggression. What this means is, we aim to reach a state where, for China, there is never a favorable moment to launch an invasion of Taiwan. Only by achieving this can we truly guarantee Taiwan's security and the peace and stability of the entire Indo-Pacific region. What this truly means is whether any internal changes or shifts within the Chinese military will ultimately lead to even greater risks for Taiwan. This outcome will entirely and completely depend on whether Taiwan's own robust defense capabilities, working in close coordination with its allied nations, can collectively project a sufficiently strong and credible deterrent force against China. This, without a doubt, is the most fundamental and absolutely crucial factor at play. Of the ongoing trade competition between the United States and China, China finds itself in a position where it has considerably more to request from the United States, whereas the United States has significantly fewer demands or needs from China. Therefore, there is absolutely no compelling reason for the United States to employ Taiwan as a strategic bargaining chip when engaging in discussions with China. We believe that President Trump is currently engaged in a truly formidable and challenging peace-building endeavor, one that, in the immediate future, must carefully balance the vital interests of the United States while simultaneously working to effectively curb and prevent China's continued outward expansion.
The United States, acting upon the Taiwan Relations Act and its 6 assurances to Taiwan, has made a commitment to Taiwan, affirming that US-Taiwan relations are as solid as a rock and will not change. Because the safeguarding of our nation, the protection of our own country, this is a fundamental responsibility that belongs to Taiwan itself. Therefore, as the President and concurrently the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, I am proposing this special budget precisely to demonstrate such unwavering resolve.
In a democratic society, the conduct and performance of all political parties are subject to the rigorous examination of the people. Therefore, I am fully confident that this budget will pass through successfully.
So for Taiwan's semiconductor industry, as long as its research and development centers, the most advanced manufacturing processes and the largest production volumes are all located here in Taiwan, then Taiwan can continue to maintain its absolutely indispensable strategic position within the global semiconductor supply chain.
I believe Europe has the ability to help Ukraine successfully achieve its goals. I also believe Europe can maintain its focus on peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific, and that peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific also requires Europe's continued attention.
A statement that has triggered fury in Beijing. China's foreign ministry fired back swiftly. Spokesperson Lin Zhan accused Lai of provoking aggression, branding him a peace disruptor, crisis creator, and war instigator.
Lai Ching-te's recent statements once again reveal his true nature as a stubborn Taiwan independence separatist. This fully proves Lai Ching-te to be a destroyer of peace, a creator of crises, and a warmonger. It clearly shows that Taiwan independence is the root cause of instability and chaos for peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait.
For Beijing, the issue is sovereignty. For Taipei, it is survival. China claims Taiwan as its own and has never ruled out the use of force to bring the self-governed island under its control. Meanwhile, Taiwan is moving fast on another front. With growing uncertainty over Washington's long-term commitment to defend the island, Taipei is strengthening ties with Europe, now its third-largest export market. Lai is pushing for deeper cooperation in defense and artificial intelligence, and there is one powerful card Taiwan holds: semiconductors. The island produces nearly all of the world's most advanced chips, the tiny components that power everything from smartphones to fighter jets. For years, that dominance has been seen as a shield, a strategic deterrent that makes any attack on Taiwan a global economic earthquake. Lai says Taiwan will even support chip companies expanding overseas, including into Europe. But Beijing dismisses the strategy. Seeking independence by relying on foreign support, China says, is sheer folly and doomed to fail. Yet the pressure is mounting from multiple directions. Taiwan has spent billions upgrading its military over the past decade. Still, Washington wants more defense spending, more semiconductor production on American soil. As tensions rise, the rhetoric grows sharper. The Taiwan Strait is no longer just a flashpoint. It is the front line of a global power struggle where sovereignty, technology, and military might collide. And as words harden into positions, the world is watching, because what happens in Taiwan will not stay in Taiwan.